What's up, guys? It's not rocket science here, and I'm back and for my first ever video of MathCounts Trainer. Now, MathCounts Trainer is this great, and I wouldn't say new because it's been on for about, I don't know, a year, 2 years or so, or 1.5 years. It's fairly new to Aops, Art of Problem Solving, and I just really like it because it helps you prepare for math counts, the chapter round, the state round, and school round. So these are just some great study things that you can do, and I'd like to do it for fun. So the link to MathCounts Trainer is going to be in the description, as well as theartofproblemsolving.com. Check them out, please. They are so amazing. Alright, let's get started. And we're not going to start off with this problem, actually. I got a bit hasty and I did one, but I really like that problem because it was a bit easier and a bit of a warm-up to start us off today. By the way, we are doing the chapter round problems today, as it says right next to my rating. If you like this and you want me to do the state and the school round, be sure to tell me. I'll try to do it. Alright, here we go. Leave a comment or something. Alright, so here's our warm-up problem that I was hasty and I did the answer and I got it right. Okay, so what is the area of the largest square that can be inscribed within a circle with a radius of 1? Alright, so inscribed means that it's inside the circle, or it's drawn inside. Okay, that is about the worst circle I've ever drawn. Let's try that again. Much better. So we have a square, and it's inscribed in a circle of 1, and we want to maximize this so that it's the largest square. And so what is the value of the area of the square? So we know that the circle has a radius of 1. Okay, suppose, let's call this circle O. And O is the midpoint in the circle O. O is the midpoint, and this is 1. What is the area? So they're asking the area of the square. Well, how are we supposed to figure that out? I mean, we have to find either the side of the square, and we can only find the area with the sides, right? Well, maybe we can reverse engineer some familiar theorems that we know, and we can just get to an answer here. Alright, so here's another way that maybe you might not have thought of. And if you already saw this problem at home, be sure to skip through this, but it's good to see the explanation as well. This is also a radius of the circle, and it also happens to go through the square, and none of the excess part, like this here, has to be subtracted out. This is 1. So now we know that this is also 1. Which means this is also 1, and this is also 1. The length of each of those diagonals is 1. So in a way, the circle's diameter is 2. And so is the whole diagonal of this right triangle. So we know it's right because the square has a 90-degree angle. So now, how do we do this? We have 4, but we don't know the areas, just the lengths. Well, let's look at this really quick. This is a right angle because there's 4 of the triangles here, and it all makes up. So that really is, if you look at it this way, that is a right angle. So we're just and a square is made out of 4 right triangles, and it has a side of 1 and 1. Now we know, using our common ratios that we've learned, that a right triangle has 1, 1 as their legs. Their hypotenuse will always be root 2. R root 2, 1R, and R. So in this case, R is 1. It just happens to be so. So we know that the hypotenuse, or this base length, is the square root of 2. And since it's a square has all lengths of same side. So all the sides have a length of root 2. So to find the area of the square, we square root 2, and that gives us an area of 2. What is it? 2 inches squared or something. Okay, so that is our answer. Easy. So if you didn't understand, leave a comment or just try watching it and step by step looking at all my steps. Alright, let's try another one. Triangle ABC is an isosceles triangle with side lengths of 25, 25, and 48 centimeters. What is the area of triangle ABC in square centimeters? So let's draw our triangle because it's always good to learn from a picture. A picture helps. So here's our isosceles triangle. Very nice. Okay, so this is, let's use a different color here, yellow. 25 here, and 25 here. Oh man, this is not a good diagram. Okay, let's try that again. It's a good diagram for an isosceles triangle, but not for this question. Okay, you'll see why. 25, 25, and this base is 48. The base would be like 2 or something. Okay, so what is the area? So we know that we can drop a perpendicular line, and you can do that, you're allowed to, because it creates two 90-degree angles because they're the equivalent sides. Okay, so that splits this 48. Since it gets bisected, the angle is getting bisected, the side is getting bisected as well. So the base will be half each triangle. Each right triangle that we've created, its base will be half of the isosceles triangle's base. So half of 48 is 24. So we have 25, 24, and 25, 24. So we know that we can just reverse engineer the Pythagorean theorem, and we can get that. C squared equals A squared plus B squared. We know that C squared is 625, and A squared is 24 squared. So 625 minus 576 is 49. But wait, we have to take the square root of that. Since we were moving C squared to the other side, we have to square root both sides to get A. So make sure you see why this is true, and we know that the altitude now here is 7. So all we have to do now is multiply 24 by 7 and divide that by 2, because that's what a formula for a triangle is, and we're done. Wrong. The problem is asking what is the area of the whole triangle ABC. Some people may just multiply 24 by 7, divide that by 2, but that will only be half of the answer. Make sure you see why that is true. So 48 times 7 over 2, these will get crossed out to make 24 times 7. And let me see if I can do my math right. And that should be 168 if I'm not mistaken. We get it again. Let's see if I can attempt one more. I don't know if I'll get it right, but I'm going to try. When the square of 3 times a positive integer is decreased by the integer, the result is 2010. What is the integer? Now I'm going to stop to think about it for a while, and you will too, and we'll be right back. Somehow I pulled it off and I got it right. So before we look at the answer, let's try this on our own. I bet you guys paused it and looked at the answer. Thanks. Anyway, the square of 3 times a positive integer, that's 3x. So square 3x, that's 9x squared. Decreased by the integer, that's x, is equal to 2010. So if we bring 2010 to the other side, we can just subtract 2010. And that's equal to 0. So instead of doing this and dealing with negative b, we wanted to follow the quadratic, which is ax plus ax squared plus bax plus c. So let's make this negative, positive, positive, and we can't have anything such as negative 0. Okay, so now let's just factor this into the quadratic formula. So negative b, which is negative 1, plus or minus, get ready for this, guys. You might want a calculator, or you could just factor it out. That would be easier. Okay, minus b squared, sorry, which is 1 minus 4 times a times c. Okay, so I need a calculator really quick for this. I got my calc here. 4 times negative 9 times 2010, that's negative 72,360. Okay, so that makes it add. Okay, so that means double negatives cross out. And then over 2a, which is negative 18. Okay, so 1 plus 72,360 is 72,361. Now, let's take the square root of 72,361. That's 269. So our new equation is negative 1 plus or minus the square root, not the square root, sorry. Let's clear all this. Negative 1 plus or minus 269 over negative 18. Now, since only the positive values will work, note that this will have to be positive values. So now we have, let's see here, I think I made a mistake. This should be positive. Sorry about that, guys. 270 over negative 18. And that's going to equal, that's going to equal negative 15. The other one, when you subtract, you can try that out, but it's going to become like 14.88 or something like that. So we know that negative 15 is the only one that will work, but since we want positive values only because we want it to be a positive integer, x is going to be 15. And I think that'll wrap it up. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you want me to see me do school round, which is a bit easier, some straight round, and then if you want me to do for the win, there are other things on the site, and if you have questions, be sure to ask me. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bob1306, it's not rocket science. We're signing out.